to the Jonathan Ross show, and let's start with some of this, shall we? Yeah, like that. I'm not doing the mobile. I got nits over the summer. That's all that is. But what an Olympics that was! Wasn't that just incredible? Even though everyone expected it to be great, it was remarkable. And didn't we do well? Good games, good games. It's not hard to guess who's going to be in the Queen's New Year's honours list this year, is it? Arise, Sir Mo Farah. Arise, Sir Bradley Sideburns. Arise, Sir that ginger bloke who won the long jump. Come on, all of them. And wasn't the opening ceremony phenomenal? Wasn't it great, the opening ceremony? And I think I might be alone, but I also enjoyed the closing ceremony. Because I thought it was like an enormous edition of Top of the Pops 2. At one point, I thought they just put Gary Lineker's iPod on shuffle. That's what it was. Great to see the Spice Girls back together. Although, during rehearsals, Victoria had to wear a badge saying, "Not a javelin," just in case. No, don't boo that! You know it's coming from a loving place. And the only thing that ruined it for me, all these acts were there, and I was shouting out, "Play some new songs, play some new songs." And then George Michael came out and did one, so thank you, George. It was long as well, wasn't it? We've got a packed show for you, so I'm not going to waste too much time, but of course you've already heard a bit. Performing for us this evening at the end of the show will be, she's a phenomenal talent. She's Jay-Z's latest protege, the fabulous, the wonderful Rita Ora. There she is. Rita Ora, ladies and gentlemen, stick around. She'll be doing a whole number at the end of the show. Thank you. What a great band as well. Let's have a look. I think you might have a rough idea, but let's have a look and see who is on the show. My first guest is quite simply the greatest all-round sportswoman in the world. That is official. It's the golden girl of Team GB, Jessica Ennis. Jessica Ennis. Hey, Jessica, look at that. Look at that. She's brought the dinner plate along with her. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm so excited. In the Olympic heptathlon, as I'm sure you know, Jessica amassed an incredible 6,955 points. That's remarkable. And in case you're wondering, if she cashes those points in, she can get a new kettle and a toaster. Jessica Ennis, ladies and gentlemen, there she is. She'll be coming up first. My next guest is another of our many Olympic heroes. Ladies, and indeed gentlemen, steady yourselves. He looks great in Speedos. It's Tom Daley! Wow! Tom, what's going on with the outfit there?
Well, the invite I got says smart casual.
Well, there you go. That will do that. It looks like you come straight from work.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tom Daley, ladies and gentlemen, thank you indeed for being here. OK. I feel a little embarrassed about introducing my next guest because he doesn't have one single medal to his name. But he's still just about my favourite Irish actor, one of the best stars in Hollywood right now, Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell, ladies and gentlemen. Great to see you, Colin. Well, hang on.
I was going to say, you're right, John, that I have no medals, but between the years of 1990 and 2006, I amassed 6,972 pints. Didn't get a medal.
That's a lot of the black stuff.
Got a certificate from rehab.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's behind you now, but what a record that is to hold.
Yeah, I know. Yay! And I'm glad I didn't wear my Speedos tonight as well. That would have been really embarrassing.
Oh, you haven't seen what we got planned for you later. It's a thong, but it's Mr. Colin Farrell, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. So thrilled he's on the show. Just a tremendous actor. My next guest is another household name, ladies and gentlemen. Who doesn't know and indeed love the beautiful Kelly Brook? Kelly, one of the nation's sweethearts right there. Hello. Always so lovely to see you, Kelly.
Thank you. I'm in the room of dreams right now.
What a room to be in. It's incredible.
Unbelievable.
It's Kelly Brook, ladies and gentlemen. She's on the programme, and that's not all. Because our last guest can genuinely lay claim to being the fastest man on the planet. The fastest human being alive. And maybe not just now, maybe ever. You know, that's what's so incredible about this man. Here he is, will you please? Just say hello. He's coming out later on the show, but here he is, Mr. Usain Bolt, ladies and gentlemen. It's Usain. Usain Bolt. Thank you. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Usain, am I right in thinking, and everyone thinks obviously you're a superb athlete, a dedicated and focused athlete, but when you unwind, is this right that one of your favourite pastimes is to play dominoes?
Yeah.
Dominoes?
Yeah. I learned from my coach. It's a lot of people don't understand. It's very simple, but it plays with your mind. I don't think you can handle that game, though.
So when you... Oh. he's starting early, isn't he? I thought you had a famously slow start, but no, you had the track straight away there. So that night, I saw the picture of you in the Olympic Village, the night that the Swedish ladies handball team popped in to see you. Dominoes that night as well, was it?
No, you know, actually, I was thinking about switching my sport, so I was looking some... Handball seemed like a great sport to me.
Yeah, I bet it does. Especially when you go like you did, just went, handball seems like a great sport to me. That was a giveaway right there.
Saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm sure you are. The fabulous Usain Bolt is on the programme, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. Wow. How about that? That's the show. It's packed. That's why we're going to get right amongst it. Just before we do, you know, most of the other Olympic athletes from around the world have headed home this week, of course. And like the rest of the Olympics, it's been organised brilliantly. We actually have some footage of the Japanese synchronised swimming team leaving the Olympic Stadium. Have a look at this. Synchronised road crossing. I'd watch even that. OK, let's get my first guest now, shall we? It's the fabulous Jessica Ennis, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, thank you.
Jessica Ennis, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Take a seat. Well, let me see this bad boy here. Can I look at this? This is the guy, and it's heavier than I thought, because they don't have as much gold as in some of the previous years, do they?
I think everyone asks me, is it real gold? But I think it's just gold-plated, but
wow.
It's a bit of gold in there.
Wow, well,
yeah.
you better have that back in case
Thank
I
you.
run off with it, because I'll be looking on eBay and there's none on there yet, but I'm hoping. Well, listen, congratulations on what a year, and I imagine quite an enjoyable summer for you.
Yeah, it's been, honestly incredible. I couldn't have ever imagined that it would kind of end up like this, but yeah, it's been brilliant. You
know, I was a bit worried because before it even started, you were singled out as sort of kind of the face of the Olympics in this country, and I was thinking that may well be putting extra pressure on you before the games even begin. Did it feel that way to you at all?
Yeah, definitely. I know it kind of just happened all together that, you know, I was going to be the face of the Olympics, and yeah, it just kind of was put upon me, but a lot of pressure and a lot of expectation, but it was a great position to be in, and it worked out well in the end.
Did you see the big... you saw some photographs, I'm sure, but I don't know if you saw it from the air. There was a field, and they put a big image of you in the field so people coming in could see. I think we have the photograph here. Look at that. So welcome to our turf. And that's pretty huge. That was a pretty huge image there. That must have been a strange thing to know was going on.
Yeah, it was really surreal when they said they were going to do it, but yeah, obviously a great honour, and that's the first thing that everyone saw when they flew in, but great for the team, you know, home advantage, and we made the most of that.
Psych them out before they even land.
Exactly, yeah.
Did you see what they put on the other side over the flight path when they were leaving? If people were leaving before the Olympics started, did you see this? It was that one there. It's Boris giving them the finger. You've got to love a bit of Boris, haven't you?
Oh, you've got to love Boris.
Everyone knows about the athletics, of course, beforehand, but I think, you know, you really put the heptathlon on the map at this Games, and I think, you know, I don't think we need to explain to everyone there's 7 events, of course, in there. But during that period, you know, the points amass, is there a point before you get to the end where you feel pretty confident you've already won? Do you ever get to that state, or would that be complacency? Would that hurt?
Yeah, I think I always never want to take anything for granted and, you know, take each event at a time, but yeah, definitely after the javelin, I felt pretty emotional and thought, you know, I'm very close to it now. And then part of me was saying, no, don't think about winning, you know, keep focused. But that was definitely a moment when I knew that I was pretty close to getting
Because the javelin is kind of the weakest of the 7 events for you, and it's the one that you're not as strong
Yeah,
in.
definitely one of my weakest. Last year at the World Championships in Daegu, the javelin let me down, so I knew I had to go and have a good a good javelin so that I could hold on to that first spot.
So what have you done since it's ended? What have you done? How, you know, you've been allowed to unwind, I guess, but you're so much in demand right now. I imagine it's a different kind of craziness.
Yeah, it's just been busy and lots of exciting things to do, different opportunities and people to meet, which has been fun because obviously when I was competing and preparing, it was all about training. I had to turn a lot of things down. So now I can, you know, relax and enjoy myself a bit.
So what food is it? What are your kind of vices that you really want when you're training, but you just can't have, that you can have right now?
I'm a big red wine fan, which is really bad, but yeah, definitely a glass of red wine and just all the bad food that you want to eat, but you really need to avoid it to make sure that you're in the best shape possible. And
I guess you can just relax and have more time to yourself anyway, so...
Yeah, just relaxing and seeing my friends and, you know, catching up with friends and family and just doing social things that obviously when you're training, you just don't have the time to fit it in.
Get the DVD box sets out.
Box sets, yeah.
Relax with shades of grey.
I was going to read that.
Have you started on that already?
No, I've got 3 of them lined up. So.
Well, that'll take you about a weekend, I imagine. Here's the thing. I know you're getting married next year. Yeah. So I guess now you've got the time to actually plan that event, have you?
Yes, lots of planning. I was just saying I can start looking at flowers and dresses and, you know, all those kind of things. So I'm looking forward to that.
And do you have an idea for the kind of dress you're going to wear with? Obviously, it's going to be a wedding dress, but, I mean, is it going to be... Have you got a... I'm guessing. But a big flouncy one or a modern one, or...?
I don't know. Everyone says that, you know, you have an idea of what you want, but then you go and try dresses on, you go for something completely different. So I'm kind of keeping it open and, yeah, just going to try a range of dresses on, I think.
Will there be a compartment for the medal, or will you leave that at home?
That's a good idea. I know I might have to have a little pocket, definitely.
Is your fiancé, is he competitive? Because, I mean, my wife and I, neither of us get off our arse at all unless we have to, absolutely have to. So we're not competitive in that kind of way at all. But I wonder, does he feel sporty? Does he think that he could take you at some of those events?
Oh, yeah, he's sporty. He plays football and squash, and he's always like, you know, I can race you and beat you. You know, when we're going to the restaurant or, you know, out for a drink and I'm in my heels, tottering around, he's like, let's have a race now, let's go. I'm like, no, this isn't going to work.
Could he, do you think he would stand a chance if he had the proper gear on? Would he be able to beat you at any of those events?
No.
Not even a second's doubt.
No, I'm really not going to entertain that thought. I don't think he could.
No, you don't need... Actually, that would be a bad thing to have in your head when you're about to... So what's the next... when do you start training for the next events? What's next on the agenda?
The next big one for us is the World Championships in Moscow next year, so that's the next main one.
So you've got a way off already, so you don't have to...
Yeah.
I guess you can't let it go too much, though. I guess you have to get back in the saddle fairly quickly, don't you?
Well, I'm definitely going to enjoy these few weeks and relax, and then, yeah, back into training. It's going to hurt, I think. But, yeah, just start preparing for the next one.
And is your trainer already nagging you to go back in? Is your coach already...
You know what? I've actually been avoiding speaking to him. He keeps texting me, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll put it off for a few more weeks.
I think that medal that you're holding in your hand gives you a few weeks' grace.
Yeah, hopefully.
What an incredible thing. And, you know, I know I'm speaking for everyone here when I say how... And it might sound weird, but we're so proud of you. And it's such a wonderful thing. Jessica Ennis, ladies and gentlemen. Lovely, thank you. The remarkable young Jessica Ennis, ladies and gentlemen. She was just saying a second ago to me that your dog has won the medal.
Yeah.
I
think it was weighing her down.
I think he was. I think she looks a bit depressed.
She's happy. That's happy, Milo.